Happy Monday. Here we are one more time. Glad to see everybody joining me here live on Zoom. And I am going right now to also start streaming it live on Facebook. So let's do this live on Facebook. We are live. We're live. The Power Hour. And I'm excited about the call this morning. I have some great things to talk about. Great busy weekend, and I want to start saying belated happy Mother's Day to all mothers out there, the mothers of your kids, or if you have, I know some ladies that are like pet moms, and I know some ladies that they are great aunties, and it's a great opportunity to celebrate you all. And here I am, yours, Sandro, Canada, straight from my office having this great conversation. I'm just getting things started here and making sure that I get the video right. And let's do this. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Wow. Oh my goodness. We are definitely speeding on time. Sometimes it feels like the time is just like running. And it feels like the year just started another day. And here we are, May 15th, almost mid-May. Summer is coming. It's exciting in certain ways because like now I can go out and do my exercise outside, my biking, my walking, my running, not be looking, oh, all day snow. This is the place that we choose to live, and I am so happy that I have you guys here, and I'm happy that I have Shai in the house, and I have Galit, guys. I'm so blessed to have you guys in my life, and you can share some of the challenges that you go through. I had one book that I was going through, and I wanted to talk about, but then today, mothers out there, a little bit of a return here. Yes, today I want to talk about a different book that I've been reading. I was prepared to talk about The Gap in the Game, phenomenal book, also written by Dr. Benjamin Hardy. But today, let me just open my notes here because I finished this great book. And I've been thinking about, and again, let me just go back a little. Let's start over. As I'm going through this journey of personal development and personal growth and just investing in myself in a way that I can see the potential of who I can become. Who is this Sandra that I'm going to make a big difference? I'm going to help change lives and do all these amazing things, right? Those are things that I am often thinking. And when I'm going through challenges, I also sometimes am caught up on that. And like, it doesn't feel amazing. It feels not just challenging, but I am constantly in this battle against the imposter syndrome. And when you are under pressure, when you are going through difficult challenges, it's very easy to forget how we got here. And we only look to the problem. I was having a fantastic conversation with my brother this weekend, and he said, again, was like almost repeating myself, right? But he was saying, Sandro, you're constantly saying that you have to focus on the positive and not the negative. But right now, because of the challenge that you're facing, you are focused on the problem. In what we focus on, that's what is going to grow. So take this aside, leave it alone, and move. Keep moving. Okay, let me just get in a different book. And then I came across this phenomenal book. As interesting, there was a book that was written for women, and it's called Impostor Syndrome. It was written by a psychologist and a journalist. And it's like, well, because they're saying, why do women still not believe in themselves? Well, but let me check it out. Let me look into this book because I feel like this is a season that I am in right now in my personal life. So why not read the book? I read the book and I'm glad I did because that's exactly what I want to talk to you about today. And if you have any comments, please, as you're having this conversation, just drop the message. And as I'm going through the videos, I'm going to read your message. You can have this as interactive as possible. Well, now I started the book and saying, we have to have strategies to overcome the obstacles caused by imposter syndrome and forge greater self confidence. When everything is going well, when everything is going right, it's so easy to feel confident and get the chest up and puffed up and say, yes, I am on the top of the mountain. But I believe, and this is a personal belief, that when we are going through the valley and we look to the mountain, wow, both places we have different challenges. Because if you're top of the mountain, you gotta like, why? Because you have less air. You have a different type of pressure there. And then I started thinking to myself, well, did I experience the heights of the mountain? Absolutely yes. I do have so many great memories that brings me to the top of the mountain. And do I face valleys? Absolutely yes. I also face valleys. Okay. So if I'm seeing the top of the mountain and I'm seeing the valleys, how am I going to deal with this? And that's what the book was bringing me, this type of conversations. Actually, I also want to take the opportunity to give you a piece of advice that if you are uh, going through whatever you're going through, keep reminding yourself of who you are. And when you're going through books, this is how I read the books. I read the book and I try to get my mind going in a sense of what is this message is telling me and how can I relate to what is happening based on the message that I'm reading. I hope that makes sense. But anyways, let's get started. So today I want to talk about a few ways that can help you and me to improve the self-esteem. And there are different manifestations and different types of imposter syndrome. How can we transform our insecurities into assets? And how can we help others to avoid similar struggles? Some key points here, we're going to be talking as we go in this next minutes together. But the key points of this book talks about the credit, where credit is due, who exactly am I, the creation of the imposter syndrome, types of imposters, challenging our doubts and becoming a role model. And then, of course, at the end, I have a suggestion that I was challenged, and I also want to challenge you. All right, so let's dive in. When I started reading the book, and why am I talking about imposter syndrome? Because I had somebody that reached out to me this weekend, and it was a great weekend in the sense that I was so busy with my business and Be Mother's Days. As many of you guys know, in November, last November, I purchased a business. And with the business that I purchased, I was actually interested in the real estate because I'm a real estate investor. And that was my focus, develop the building and developing the lot and why not. But it came with a great, thriving business. And then, oh, what a fantastic idea. Let me get into retail. And I had no, I mean, I kind of had a um, romantic idea of what I was getting myself into. It was romantic. It was romantic. And then, okay, now the game is in. This is the reality. Now, this is what we're doing. And then, of course, there's a lot of amazing things and makes me happy about the decision that I made. However, there's some other challenges that I didn't know they exist and they are there for me. But specifically this weekend, we were short-staffed, and the one gentleman that helped us with the deliveries often he couldn't make it, and oh boy, there was like four of us. I drove probably 400, and I was just looking close to 450 kilometers between Saturday and Saturday afternoon and Monday morning. So a lot of driving, but it helped me to think a lot as well. Because guess what? I started driving around 2 and literally across the region, going to Clayton, Almont. If you know the Ottawa region, it's like a large territory, going to Clayton, Almont, Ottawa, then Robin, and then Fitzroy, all the way back to Renfrew. It was like a long, long drive. But what helped me was to just have that bunch of hours to think and think and think and think. And as I'm driving, and then on the phone, and somebody calls, and then call somebody else, but somebody called me, and they said, Sandro, I'm calling you because I want to say thank you. It's like, you're very welcome. What are you being grateful for? Sandro, I've been dealing with some challenges, and you gave me some suggestions, and I didn't really want to accept the suggestion that I was giving, even though I was the one asking you for suggestion. But I did what you suggested, and I'm just calling you to tell you how appreciative I am, and then gave me this great word of affirmation. Now, keep in mind that my love language is touch, like physical touch, and words of affirmation, right? Like that's how I feel loved. So I'm just giving you a hint. If you want to know how to love me and make me melt, just give me some tap on the shoulder and give me some words of affirmation. Anyways, like going back to what we're discussing here. No words of affirmation. Oh, Sandro, you're such an amazing person. Oh, I don't really care about this, but sometimes I need to feel like what I'm saying, is it helping you in any way? Does it make any sense? Or if not, the word of affirmation, and at least in my personal love language, not necessarily just scratching my ego and my back, but also giving me the reality as is and give me raw. And I am a all in or all nothing kind of guy. And this is just how I roll. But sometimes when I'm like in the high and thinking, oh my goodness, and someone who really cares give me raw and give me the hard reality to how to wake up, I have that initial shock, but also helps me to process. And why is this coming? Like, where is this coming from? What are they trying to say? Really helps me to cope. But anyways, going back to the conversation, I received that call, and that friend of mine gave me that fantastic word of affirmation, and especially in a challenge, in a season in my life that I'm going through a lot of pain in my personal life. There's a lot of going on. And I was like, driving around and just thinking, oh my goodness, where did I fail? Why is this happening to me? Like the victim uh, mentality and approach and behavior. And I'm going to admit, I've been in many, many ways acting as a victim because it's a wave of emotions. And it's literally, I've been trying to identify how I'm feeling. And then on that specific moment, or when I'm going through the emotions, I feel, well, why I'm feeling this way and what is this feeling? And I sort of put in a catalog. It starts with anger, and like I'm really angry. And then from anger, it goes to sadness. And from sadness goes to denial, and from denial goes to hope, repeat, right? It's just a terrible circle. But then I was, before the call, on the sadness mode. And just like, oh, poor me. And then I got the call. But when I got the call, it did create a opposite effect. And I'm like, are you talking about me? Yes, I'm talking about you, of course. And I'm like, no, this is not me. And that's when the imposter syndrome sunk in. Last night I was thinking about that, right? Because I'm trying to reflect. Why am I feeling this way? And so many of us. Now, it's interesting that, oh my goodness, I need to make a commitment to myself. I'm not ready yet, but I've been thinking about taking a break from social media. I've been really thinking about fast social media for a little bit. Again, not ready yet. I'm just putting out that on the open. So that helps also to get some encouragement, and why not? But I came across a post from an investor I respect a lot, brilliant investor. He's from Alberta, and I'm part of the community where he's one of the main speakers. And he said, well, it's an absurd people that just got into real estate investing and they've been investing for less than 5 years and they think they're in a position to coach people. And it was like very harsh in his comments, and he's a seasoned investor, and I respect his opinion. That's okay. But then I'm like, okay, I am one of those. I got into professional real estate investing in COVID, and I've learned a lot. I did a lot, made a lot of mistakes, and now trying to find the ways to get out of the big mess that I put myself in. But no, I like to learn and then experience and then teach. Because even though I don't know lots, there's a lot of people that they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 steps behind where I am. Therefore, as I'm going through these motions and I'm teaching what I'm learning, help me to solidify the theory that I'm learning, and we all learn together, right? And we learn from each other. But yet, reading this type of comments and then put on the pile the challenge that I'm going to do is like, oh my goodness, yes, I shouldn't be doing this. And this is why I love this book. Why? Because imposter syndrome, check this out, imposter syndrome occurs when people have persistent self-doubt in their achievements and believe they are frauds. Like, I'm going to read again and say out loud. Imposter syndrome occurs when people have persistent self-doubt in their achievements and believe they are frauds. I don't know if you feel that way. I feel that way so many times. Give me a microphone and jump on the stage, and like, this is my safe place. I thrive on the stage. I love the attention, and I'm not going to deny this. I love the attention. I love to be on the stage. I love to talk. I love to, through my words, go and put out how I'm feeling, what I believe, and think about your future self. But yet, there are individuals that will come to you, and you're not only the one feeling that way. There are individuals that will tell in your face that you are a fraud, that you are a liar, and we are living a life that is not the reality, and all these things, right? And sometimes these words, which are harsh words, they're coming from people like from your inner circle, people that are close to you. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is not what I need right now. I need somebody that will help me to lift me up. Yes, sometimes you need a reality check, come back to earth and be grounded. But if you're a visionary like I am, keep going. Do not listen to it. It's easier said than done. But again, despite having external evidence on the competence, they feel like they've deceived others into perceiving them as more intelligent or capable than they truly are. Whoa! It's like, as I'm starting reading the book and making the notes, like, this book was written to me. A great example of this. Again, bought the flower shop, and it's a great, thriving business, right? I have a business partner on the project, and I was always like, let's get the deal done and structuring the deal and negotiating, and it was a phenomenal negotiation. We bought the business with no banks involved and creative finance as its finest. Even somebody reached out to me this week, it's like, oh, is it possible to buy a property with no deposit or very small deposit? Because every property I look into it, they're asking 5,000, 10,000, 25,000, $50,000 deposit. Like, well, I bought a property with $1,000 deposit. No, you did not. Yes, I did. Oh, but how about VTB? Well, I bought the property with 100% VTB, like vendor take back, and just talk about this. And it just happened. Like, we took possession in November. Literally just happened. However, as I got into the business, and then my business partner comes to me and she says, well, right now I'm going to take care of all the creative side and rebranding and design. That's her expertise. You're going to take care of finances. Well, there's a reason why I went to law school. Because when I was choosing a discipline to study law, one of the main reasons was that had little or no math. Math and I, we are not good friends. Like, I avoid, of course, I like to do math and we have calculators, but all the whole financial statements and all of the numbers and the admin kind of things, like, this is not my forte. Now, my business partner comes to me and she starts asking me questions and asking me to do certain things that I have no idea. I never run a retail store before. As a matter of fact, I never worked retail my entire life. So I had no idea what to expect. And then, of course, the tension started as well, right there. And as the tension is happening, then some words were said, both sides. And the greatest things that we are both Brazilians, very passionate. So we say stuff and get mad at each other, and then we talk it out, we hug it out, and we keep moving, right? But at that moment, I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't know anything. I am a fraud. I'm not that smart. And I'm telling myself these words. And this book was like, yes, even though I have the evidence, we bought a freaking $1 million business. That was a $1 million deal. And yet, extremely creative, here I am self-doubting myself. And I'm like, what? Like hitting home hard. And it's important to have these conversations. It's important to have this realization because help us to deal with it and talk and ask for help, either through someone or through books. But when we think that self-confidence is the foundation for building our identity and facing our ambitions. This has to be a constant reminder because as we keep doing what we want to do, as we keep trying to move towards our goals, to either have a better life or have more wealth or have more health or have more help, whatever it is that you are aiming and you are doing, and it feels like nothing is working, and you're almost like you're coming from inertia, right? Like from ground zero to get that airplane moving, and it feels like why I'm trying so hard, right? And then that's also start impacting our confidence because things are not working as we want. It's like, oh, man. Oh. And then somebody comes and gives you like a compliment. It's like, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. But accept it because it's normal to grapple with confident issues. But self-doubt frequently negatively impact various aspects of our lives. So this is the right place to be, recognizing the self-doubt will be there. But then it's up to us to close our eyes and repurpose our thoughts and move forward, right? When somebody gives that compliment, and again, when I'm saying about words of affirmation, I'm not talking about giving me a pat on the back and just telling me, oh, how amazing I am. That's not what I'm talking about. It's more like when you're going through emotion and going through a challenge, and this for me, okay? Going through a challenge so difficult that it feels like you're going to die. It's more like, man, this is extremely hard and very difficult, but you got this. You can do it. Like you are capable. You know, like this is the type of words of encouragement, or words of what is the word? Like acts of service. That's one of the love languages, but mine again, physical touch and words of affirmation. So I would replace the words of affirmation for words of encouragement. That's the right word, right? And have been very blessed that I have some people in my life that are really doing this. But then comes to the next question: who am I? Who are you? Like, what are we doing? And self-confidence is crucial for emotional well-being. By acknowledging our inner worth and believing in our skills, we empower ourselves to set and pursue our goals with determination. Guys, this is like written on the wall of my Facebook profile. People will call you crazy until you get the results. Then you are genius. So you will face opposition. Like I guarantee you, you will face opposition. And get yourself ready and guard your heart because the criticism, the deception, the disappointment will come from people that you don't even imagine. Because when are people that are like enemies, you're kind of ready, right? Oh, if this person, I'm already guarded. I'm ready to give back. But sometimes we just share these things with people that is like, oh, I'm going to share this with Johnny, or I'm going to share this with Mary, I'm going to share this with Joe. And oh my goodness, you get that punch and boom, got you right in the gut. And like, I'm going to die. No, 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 you're not. You are not going to die. Keep moving, but guard your heart and align yourself with people that one understands your vision, two are your cheerleader, three they will give you feedback, and not just the feedback that you want to hear, but they're going to give you feedback that you need to hear. And keep enhancing and allowing yourself to focus on your self-worth, self-confidence, so we can navigate adversity with calmness and adaptability. Repeatedly blaming yourself will only undermine your self-esteem and limit your success. Again, we in our body, like there's a lot of chemicals going through our bodies, right? Like a lot of chemicals. And of course, when you have a challenge, you go to bed, think about the challenge, and then wake up, and then guess who is right there looking at you, your challenge. So then is this moment that I have to stop and think, do I feed into this, or do I repurpose? It's easier to feed into than to repurpose. Great example. Here I am getting ready for this amazing conversation this morning. I made a promise to myself that for the next 10 years, every single Monday at 7 a.m., I'm going to be here. So I am aiming to have at least 500 of those conversations, right, throughout 10 years. But some mornings, like today, is just this debate. What I'm going to talk about? I have nothing to give. But my challenge for you is this. We are in the era of technology. We have our cell phones, and I was actually listening to a course that I'm doing, and the guy who was saying, back in the days, somebody had to bring a message from someone else, and they would use horses. So the mail guy was a guy on a horse bringing a letter from one point to another. And technology came, so now they actually is not horses anymore. Now they still send a letter, but there's a whole network. And here in Canada, we have Canada Post. It's a great network. I put the letter on the mail today, this morning, before 11 a.m., and can be tomorrow afternoon in Alberta, right? Like that. However, as this progresses, we are now in an era that the computers and everything is right here in our hands. And are we using this as a tool, being the producer of help, content, and advice, or are we just being the consumers, right? And as I'm thinking about this and talking about the message, that's directly connected to this idea of self-confidence. Because if you have something, if you have a message right there inside of you, don't keep it yourself. Bring this message out, share it, right? And stop the blaming game. This is for me. And this is the whole wrap up of this conversation, that when then I got up and I had my changing moment in the morning and having a shower and getting ready, I'm like, Sandro, you will, and this is how my future self talking to my current self, right? So I'm often having this conversation with my future self. It's like, what my future self will be telling me right now if it's the successful one. Because there's two versions of my future self. There's the one that didn't achieve the goals and gave up, and there's the one that did. Not everything, but most of the things, or even with the change. But anyways, I was talking to the successful one. I said, Sandro, you will record this message regardless of who is watching or regardless of who is listening. Record this message to yourself. So then, in a day, in a week, in months, in a year from now, you're going to come back and just like, oh my goodness, I remember that moment. I remember what was happening right then and how I was feeling. Yes, that feeling is so real and so present, and I overcame. So thank you, Sandro, for not giving up. That's why I'm here, right? So anyways, you get the point. I'm literally challenging you to start documenting your journey for yourself. Of course, I want to share these messages that I'm learning with other individuals, because if it's helping me, it might help you as well. But if you don't want to help anybody, just help yourself. You get the point. Let's go. People will fall into the trap of excessive excessive self-doubt. And that is when we start suffering the beginning stages of imposter syndrome. And the more successful we become, the more we question our own abilities. And this cycle of self-doubt and anxiety can become a mental trap where accomplishments amplify feelings of what is the word? This cycle of self-doubt and anxiety can become a mental trap where accomplishments amplify feelings of inadequacy. Inadequacy. I think I got this right. Which means that when you start, now we've been sowing, right? We've been sowing and planting the seed and keep moving. But now we start thinking about external factors like, oh no, this is happening because of luck or because of appearance. And then have this cognitive bias where we start trying to blame the success or lack of to something else. Oh, I've been successful because somebody helped me, or because I was lucky, or oh, because I put my pink vest today. But the opposite is also true. Oh, this is happening to me because, and then accountability, right? Oh, because that person did that. That person did that. No, 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 no. Okay, stop. Stop. And then look and think. How about taking accountability? Again, guys, this is easier. This is much easier said than done. I am naturally one of my defense mechanisms when somebody's confronting me with raw truth and reality. My initial behavior is to find something, and I'm not going to say to blame, but to have an excuse. And I was becoming the master of excuse. Like, okay, so why you didn't finish the book? Oh, I didn't finish the book because I had to put it. I always have something. I always have an answer for everything. And then I've been challenged by a good friend of mine. He said, well, instead of trying to find a reason for everything and stop giving excuses and stop being the king of excuses, just take accountability. You didn't do it because you're a procrastinator, or you didn't do it because you're lazy, or you didn't do it, and whatever the reason is, right? And I'm not calling you lazy, but just to get the point. Giving it like raw, and then you have the shock of reality. And then I'm like, okay, but then if I do this and take responsibility, immediately the imposter syndrome comes back. And that's when you see like how the imposter syndrome is created, right? When this, like, where is this negative thoughts coming from? And there's a psychologist that was saying that there's like some deep roots in ourselves. For example, someone had a very nervous and temperamental, oh my goodness, this English words, like was very always nervous when I was a kid, or felt neglected or overlooked. Like there's so many things that you can think of. What will happen is that as we grow, this will impact our self-confidence and how we see ourselves. And then conversely, if someone develop a robust self-esteem early on, they might lose it due to the mixed and confusing messages they encounter in early childhood. Yet, imposter syndrome can cause more than just self-doubt. Think about how professional burnout looms over those who constantly strive for success while battling feelings of they are not enough. Another consequence is, oh, wow, this is hitting home hard, procrastination paralysis. And will happen when goals are postponed with excuses of completing them later due to feeling unprepared and ultimately influencing the outcome. I wish I could call some people here by their names. And I'm going to start. Sandro, that's you right there. Because there's a lot of things, a lot of goals. Oh, I'll give an example. I can give you an example, right? Because that might resonate with you. How easy it is to be a real estate investor when the market is hot. and everybody want to invest. They want to invest with you. They want to invest on you. They want to invest on their projects, and everything's so easy. Now we are in downturn, and things are tough. Like, there's a lot of opportunities, but now it is not as easy as it was. And again, I came into the market becoming a professional real estate investor, even though I've been buying properties in Canada since 2011. But now let's speed up the game. Of course, it was 2019, 2020, and why not? Now there's some opportunities that I can still either repurpose or I can restructure, but I am in this procrastination mode, which is exactly what the psychologist was saying here on the book, because I'm like, no, I'm going to just push this a little further because I'm not prepared enough. And like, what other people are going to think? And I'm the one always saying, don't you worry about what people say. This is, again, easier said than done. We all do, or most of us do. Or you know what? If you don't, I do. And I have to always be conscious about, why do I care about somebody else's opinion that they don't pay my bills and they lie? Again, not going to even talk about paying bills. People love to talk about other people and to talk about themselves. But either what you're going through is amazing or is terrible as a current, they will talk, they will chat, but I have some news for you. They don't care because they have their own lives that they have to keep moving, right? Again, you get the point. And the relationship between self-esteem and confidence can generate a positive cycle. And then you have to find, like, within the emotional security that will fuel action and boost your self-esteem. Oh man, excessively comparing yourself. Like, boom, right there. Let's stop comparing ourselves with others. Because doing this excessively will undermine your achievement. So strive for daily improvement instead. And I'm going to make a public declaration right now. So today, I will make a commitment with myself to go back exercising daily. Because I was exercising every day but Sunday. And then winter came, and then I lost all the weight I was looking to lose. And then I exercise like here and there. But I'm going to keep myself accountable. Well, Sandro, every day is hard. Okay, do at least once a week. So I started yesterday, actually. I went for a bike ride with my boys, and we did like a long bike ride. And I was so impressed that little Charlie, 5-year-old, he was keeping up like good. We probably did close to 10 kilometers biking. I had to stop in the between to take some pictures and to record my posts and why not. But I did it. And do that one thing and then start. Okay, did it on Sunday, and then I'm going to do it today, and I'm going to do it tomorrow, and then keep challenging yourself. So not to compare yourself with others, but to compare yourself with yourself, your own self, and think about your future self. What my future Sandro will be doing, or what's going to happen to my future Sandro if I continue or if I give up. Okay? Type of imposter syndromes. Oh man, I made a good note here. There are 4 types, no, 5. Okay. Number 1, the perfectionist. The perfectionist will tirelessly or will continuously pursue excellence. But then when see a small mistake, that there's enough stain to remove all the achievement. And often is rooted in the family culture and those people that are always seeking for perfection. And then now you start setting unrealistic expectations. Am I speaking to somebody? The expert. Now, people who are constantly living under the constant pressure of needing to know everything at all times. And then these individuals, now they position themselves as, oh my goodness, I gotta know. I need to know. And they get into that vibe and that pressure. Now, you also have the independent. And the independent type of Impostor syndrome is the one that will not ask for help. No, you know what? I got myself here. I'm going to get myself out of here. And it refuses repeatedly. But then, what is the root of this? Wow, I am not open up about what I'm going through. I'm not going to be vocal because that will reveal that I am weak and I'm incompetent. Yes, we don't know everything. Yes, at times we really feel weak. We need each other. We need help. Now, there's a little caveat. We got to be very, very, very selective of who are we asking help from. And again, talking about myself, I need words of encouragement. I need physical touch. So if you know that you're going to talk to somebody that you're going to only poop on your dreams, choose somebody that will come to you and going to give you the truth, but they will also encourage you one way or another. I hope that makes sense, right? Now you have the overachiever. The overachiever is always striving for perfection, not just in outcomes, but also in the process. It often lives entangled in a cycle of self-criticism and despair, triggered whenever you are not immediately successful at a new endeavor. And then you also have the imposter syndrome, that is the dedicated one. This type of individual prioritizes the needs of others over your own and tends to be complacent, preferring not to raise questions about how you got into that position. And also deny that this is an issue, therefore you want to avoid the conflict. And finally, the false confident. Guys, like I'm reading all of this, and yes, at times I feel like I'm an independent and I don't ask for help. And sometimes it's yes, we are preoccupied about other people's opinions, right? Or being dependent. Because again, going through these motions, right? No, I start beating myself. Oh my goodness, how I got here. I made this mistake. Now I can't fix. It's beyond repair. And I've been listening and hearing these words. No, forget about it. It's beyond repair. No, it's done. It's over. Forget it. And then it start like, oh, poor me, too late. And then I go, so you know what? I got myself here. I did before. I'm gonna do it again. Independent, right? Like the independent and the expert. I know better. I've been there. I've done that. That's how I dealt in the past. That's how I'm gonna do it again. And I'm gonna do it in a way to prove what I can do and like and going through, the overachiever. But now the super syndrome. No, I can do everything, and I'm now obsessed doing things. But this is because I'm going through these different types of imposter syndrome that the psychology listed. I found the one that is there all the time in my case, which is the false confident. And we are often individuals like that, and I'm one of them, will often display this overconfidence to mask a profound insecurity within. And this psychology, Mrs. Hibbert, Dr. Hibbert, she offered 5 tips to combat imposter syndrome. 1, recognize your own worth. 2, talk about your doubts. 3, accept your weaknesses. 4, learn from your mistakes. And number 5, be empathetic with yourself. Because while everyone is out there seeking for their purpose and to excel in whatever they're doing, success it will not come overnight. Reflect on your own achievements thus far and be patient with yourself as you work towards your goals. You can do everything, but you can do everything all at the same time. Challenge your doubts, because perceiving vulnerability as a weakness is both the most widespread and the most dangerous myth. And yes, at times, most of the time, I am very, very, very vulnerable, and I try to be vulnerable. And I get to this place where I try to protect myself, saying, well, I've been vulnerable before, and then the blame game. This person or this person is using the moment of vulnerability against me, and they're using that against me, so now I can't do this anymore. Guys, then ask for help for a different person, right? Who knew that those insecurities could transform in such a powerful asset? That's why we have to keep challenging our doubts. Oh man, I get so worked up because yes, we gotta keep challenging our doubts. There's no satisfaction quite like proving someone wrong after they've doubted you. And that's what I said right in the beginning. You are an idiot, you are a dreamer, you are a liar, you are whatever it is, you are crazy, you're a lunatic until it becomes reality. Then you are a genius. And I've been there where, again, I'm going to use again the flower shop. You can't do that. You can't structure these deals this way. This wasn't never done in this town. Nobody's going to accept that. This is crazy. Oh, really? And then I'm going to buy. And it did buy. And now I'm like, say what? Now, the same individuals that will come to you and say that you can't do it, once you do, oh my goodness, you're so creative. Oh my goodness, they were so amazing. But then the imposter syndrome is always rovering around, right? So one way to accomplish the victory over imposter syndrome is through sports, which can play a pivotal role in fostering confidence. But we also have to be aware of gender stereotypes. And talking about gender stereotypes, people often ask me why I don't play soccer. I don't play soccer because of gender stereotype. Oh my goodness, you're a black dude. You have an athletic physique, and you're Brazilian. You must be good at soccer. Duh. No, I'm not, and I actually hate soccer because of the stereotype. It's not everybody that is born in Canada plays hockey. Anyways, sorry, just a little rant, but you get the point. Romance. Oh, wow, this is a great list. So one, sports is one way to accomplish the battle against imposter syndrome. Another one, romance. As sport is important, romance can also be very important to overcome self-doubt. The word or the world of love can become treacherous, can become an amazing territory when the lack of confidence will block your progress. After all, how can we love another if we don't love ourselves? Oh man, I love this. And I'm just going through my notes here because I want to make sure that I'm almost over. I want to make sure that I get everything. Okay, this one. A lack of confidence can spark personal and professional growth, but when properly understood and managed, can be a catalyst for your success. Did you know that Dove, the hygiene product company, initiated Project Self-Esteem and was a program aiming to empower girls by boosting their confidence and reducing anxiety about beauty standards. And one of the strategies was encouraging girls to participate in sports. Now, also a great way of doing this is becoming a role model for many individuals, empowering their kids, their sons, and daughters with confidence to overcome imposter syndromes is a top priority. And this is a priority of mine towards my boys. I have a 9 and a 5-year-old, and they are the priority. I want them to be so confident, right? Despite of the color of the skin, despite of the environment they're growing up, like all of these challenges that we have to think about. But no, you can do anything. You are enough, and break these behaviors and breaking the chains. It's almost like, oh, but people talk about this, right? Oh, but the generational curse that, curse that. No, then break a branch out of the tree and start a whole new tree. To raise a child in trust, you must first recognize that the child is yours and not an extension of you. Wow. So then you can become a role model. No, but Sandro, I have no kids. Well, the kids around you, do you have nephews? Do you have little neighbors? Or yet, I'm going to even go further. Not just think about kids, but the people that can be influenced by you. Let's think that way. Just recognizing that what we have, despite we believe is good or not, just like think about how you got here. In my case, I came from Brazil almost 14 years ago with virtually no money. I basically had money to survive a month, to start a whole new life. And I see where I am today. Oh, but all these challenges looming over my head. But yet, so many accomplishments despite of that, right? And I got to keep reminding myself. And then there are other individuals that they are either going through what I've been through or they will go through what I'm going through. So I should use this moment, this challenge, this adversity as a tool to also empower others. And building confidence involves recognizing uniqueness and challenging stereotypes and promoting self acceptance and respect. Demonstrate unconditional love. Practice. Oh man, this is a hard one. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it because this one is speaking like it's hitting home hard. Practice attentive listening when people need you. I suck at that. Like I suck. Oh, I stopped the thoughts right now. I wasn't good at active listening, but I'm changing. Daqui, ó. I will consciously, from now on, practice actively and intentionally the attentive listening when people need me and talking to me. Be empathetic. Woo, this is another one. I've been failing on that. Let people find refuge in you. Trust trust your gut wholeheartedly and put your faith in it as a fuel to motivate yourself. Provide support, encourage others. Embrace the failures, embrace the pain, and accept people just as they are. And foster the self-acceptance. And then look at yourself. What can you do to give and to help? Therefore, you can also help yourself. Like I love all of that. And finally, I just want to challenge myself. And so this one I'm saying, this is for you, Sandro. Set boundaries. Learn how to say no. This is vital for self-care. It's not about rejecting everything, but prioritizing ourselves and delegating when is necessary. Practice active recall, reminding ourselves of past success. Write down the steps that led you to your achievements and review them regularly to stay focused on your goals. And finally, seek support. Don't face trouble and don't go through this challenge all by yourself. Don't go alone. Talk to trusted friends. Seek professional therapy. And look for sound advice. When I say sound advice, don't go out there seeking what I call allies, right? Because, hey, Sandro, this is what is happening to me right now. No, you know what, Sandro? And then the blame starts, right? No. Like, no. But seek for people that will give you advice and give you different perspectives that will allow you to think clearly, even if their advice hurt, and move on and kill that imposter syndrome that is trying to take you over. So, friends, I am so glad I had this great opportunity to be here with you guys this morning, sharing my heart and through the books, readings, learnings that I am experiencing. And as I made this commitment to myself, I hope to see you next Monday at 7 a.m. I'm going to be here despite of all, because I want to watch in a few months, few weeks, few years, and watch this moment and remind myself that I have to keep going Because when you're a visionary, you will be misunderstood. People will be left behind. You either like or not. It's just how it is. Or you can be complacent and just don't do anything. Now, you want to change lives? You want to make an impact? Start with yourself. Stay blessed by the best. Have an amazing week. And I see you guys next